Hey guys, how's it going? This is Dave Warner, Creative Director of Atmosphir, and today we are going to do a audio podcast. We haven't done one of these for a very, very long time. Usually we've done videos and things like that. But, you know, I think audio podcast is a great format, particularly for multitasking. It's something you can put in the background, you know, while you're playing Atmosphir, while you're browsing the web, or, you know, while you're driving around on a family vacation or something like that. It's a easy way to, you know, do several things at the same time. So my recommendation is to put this on your iPod or on iTunes or something like that in the background while you're playing Atmosphir, and you know, play some levels and turn the music and sound effects down, and so you can listen to this and do two things at once. Yeah, so today's show, we're just going to talk about Update 15, which came out last week. A lot of to much acclaim. There is a lot to talk about there, different questions you guys have had in the forums, and talking about sort of what our next steps are, you know, moving forward with that. Then we'll move on to the desktop version, which is coming out in probably a couple weeks, maybe even sooner, maybe, you know, sometime this month, hopefully, but we'll talk a little bit about that and what we're looking forward to. It's going to be a huge improvement to the game, I think. And finally, we'll go to some community Q&A. I posted on Twitter and Facebook asking you guys to send in your questions about that, and you guys had a lot of different things to ask, so about 10 questions or so that I'll be answering in that section. So first off, Happy New Year to everyone. Thanks for you know, sticking with us and playing Atmosphir. A lot of you have been, you know, longtime players by this point. You might have been with this for, you know, 2-3 years, and it's pretty cool to, you know, to see how much the community has evolved. You know, we recently passed 100,000 users. That is a huge milestone, and we're really excited about that. It's you know, it's really cool to have that many users who have experienced Atmosphir, and particularly those of you who keep on coming back day in and day out and keep on checking out the game. It's very cool that you guys have stuck with us, you know, through some rough patches. You know, sometimes the game doesn't work right, sometimes the site's been down, you know, slow website speeds, you know, different bugs and things like that. You know, we're still certainly in a beta phase, but it is you know, it's great that a lot of you have looked past all that and have still made some just incredible levels. I was playing a lot of levels this weekend, actually. I was, you know, with new XP boost, I was trying to get ahead and level my character up, particularly since, you know, club members are getting the bonus XP now. So I played maybe 15 levels or so over the weekend, and gosh, I'm just blown away. You guys are making some ridiculously cool levels. It's so cool to see how far the game has gone and how far level design has gone. I mean, I seriously think I was playing a level by, I think, Turkmelon this weekend. It was like this green temple level. I don't remember the exact name of it, but oh my gosh, it was incredible. I mean, it seriously felt like something you would play on, you know, on a console. It was that good. I seriously mean that, and I think we're seeing more and more of that. Just a degree of polish and a degree of level design and gameplay that is just really, really good. And particularly with that, I think, you know, with Turkmelon's level as an example, it's starting to feel a lot less blocky. You know, I think when Atmosphir first started off, and when you see like people making retro style levels, you'll remember that old school Atmosphir was a very blocky game. And, you know, to a certain extent it still is. Everyone has their blocks and stuff that they put together, but seeing levels like that where people are free placing and rotating blocks and scaling and stuff, it's just amazing what you can create. And it's very cool to see that. I think that adds a great diversity to levels. And I think the best level designers, that's what they're doing, is they're, you know, they're able to use those tools to make things feel less like, you know, stacked Lego blocks and more like a full console adventure. So anyway, very exciting, very cool. I like it a lot. So update 15 overview. This happened last Thursday, last Wednesday. I don't remember exactly when the date was, but we came out with a new update to the game, which was just really, you know, really well received. It's been a while since we came out with an update, so I think a lot of people knew that, you know, we're doing something new, some perks. Actually, we didn't really announce that we were coming out with update 15. We said we were having some downtime, and then just magically when the site came back up, update 15 was there. You know, the main thing here was abilities, and we were really, really excited about getting these into the game. it's such a cool new player, feature. I think players might feel at some point, have felt in the past that maybe we've forgotten about them, or, designers are sort of, a lot of times get top billing. Here's the new blocks, here's the design contest, all that stuff. I think we are going to be moving, really trying to focus a lot on players in 2011. Not to say we're not focusing on designers, but we really want to add a lot of new fun gameplay abilities. So it's not just platforming and combat and puzzle solving. We want to add new things that will really make the play experience that much more exciting, that much more diverse. I think you've seen XP and abilities and things like that are the first steps to really moving forward in that direction. I think the abilities are just really, really cool, and they're a lot of fun to use within the game, itself. I think it's fun to have your hotkey bar and have several of them linked up, and say, okay, I want to use my healing power here, I want to use this fireball power here. It's just adds something new to it. It's not just your melee weapon and lasers and bombs. It's sort of a whole new facet of gameplay, which is pretty exciting, I'd say. There's gonna be some more things with this in the future. I think Dragonstorm mentioned this in the forums, but I'll mention it that it's already on the way. It's already in production. Is the ability to buy XP booster packs, and this is an idea. You don't have to be a club member to get a XP boost. There'll be smaller packs that you can actually buy through Atmos that will be in the store eventually. That'll say for the next 24 hours or the next few days or something like that. There'll be timed sort of packs that say any level that you beat in this time frame, you'll get double or triple or potentially more XP. And so that's a way for people who don't want to quite commit to the club membership, even though I think everyone pretty much should. But if that's not something for you, or for whatever reason, we're going to have these XP booster packs that allow you to boost up XP on a more short-term basis, I guess. And another thing that's coming up, of course, is the ability to actually buy Stratos. Why not? It's something that if you want to pay to, essentially get different perks and abilities, you'll have the option to do that. It's not going to be cheap, I'll tell you that. It's not like we don't want to cheapen the experience of playing Atmosphir by saying, one Stratos is $1 or something like that. It'll definitely be up there, but it's going to be an option for those people that want to do that. And we want to give people more options, basically. With this in the XP packs, give people the options to purchase different types of things with their Atmos, basically. It's not just character customization items, but being able to get different sorts of things. And, that could extend certainly into, being able to change your username, or, reset your Stratos or something like that in the future. I don't know. These are just, concepts. Nothing's been tied down, in particular, but, just wanting to give you more and more ways to, use Atmos and use Stratos, within the world of Atmosphir. So anyway, look for that stuff coming out in the future. Let's talk about some of the things that people brought up in the forums. XP penalty is something that we thought about this a lot, and we feel it's really fair to both sides, to the designers and the players. Basically, designers have an option to turn abilities on and off, and if the abilities are turned off, then that means a player who beats their level using abilities will receive 50% of the XP if that level has been marked as XP or level of the day. And you will not place on the leaderboards. So that's a decision that designers can make, but it still allows players to use the abilities if they want to, but knowing that they'll be penalized for it if they do that. In my personal opinion, I think that's really fair, and for all my levels, I think that's totally fine. If someone wants to sacrifice XP and their leaderboard position to use a special ability, then why not? If they're playing my level and they're enjoying it and they're stuck at a part, or they feel like it's too difficult and they want to use this ability, which is, primarily the reason that someone would want to use one of these, I would think, that's fine by me. If you're playing Linden's Metroidvania Caves, 2D or something like that, and you're at a tough part of the boss battle, or, you're going to die or something like that, a really difficult section, then if you want to use that and get, half the XP and not rank on the leaderboards, that's fine by me. I'm okay with that. At least you're playing my level. At least you're enjoying it. And, I don't care if you somehow find an exploit that gets you to the end faster than everyone else. You're still playing my level. I'm still getting to play from it. You might comment on it. I'm okay with that. But that's my personal opinion. Maybe some other designers in the community might feel differently. And that's fine. We're working on, as I said in the forums, we're working on more ways to give designers more fine-tuned control in the future. And that might be something, specifically saying, yes, you can use the healing ability here. No, you can't use the fireball ability here. That sort of thing. And, we're certainly open to a lot of different ideas in that area. I think Psycho Beans had a great idea that he put forth in the forums, which was saying, what if these could be enabled by triggers? What if you could trigger and say, yes, you can use the healing area, or you can use the the healing ability in this area only, or you can after you defeat a certain number of enemies, you're allowed to use it. That sort of thing. Triggers would really make those very powerful and give designers a lot of possibilities there. But I think this is something that as I was talking about earlier with the more player focused idea, we don't want to penalize players and make them feel like they can't use all their abilities and they're crippled in levels and things like that. We think that they're a great part of the game. I'd say to designers, I'd say think of these as part of the Atmosphir ecosystem and embrace them instead of being scared of them. The internal example that we used a lot, we talked about, like, what if we added a jetpack to Atmosphir? And that was a perk. You could fly anywhere you wanted. This would pretty much break every single level in the game, right? And so we said, are we okay with that? Is that something that we want? Is that something that is okay? And I think we do want to give designers the individual control to be able to say yes or no to something like that and allow that or don't allow that. But at the same time, we want players to be able to say, hey, if they've got something like that and they want to fool around with that, then why not? It's something fun for them to be allowed to use and fly around and check stuff out. And that's their decision. If they're penalized for it, in some way that we feel is fair, less XP, not showing up on the leaderboards or whatever that might be. But that's something. It'll be an ongoing debate. It'll be an ongoing thing. So far, from what I've seen, it seems like abilities are a big deal. A lot of people, I've seen the threads that people have posted about, this is what the level 3 fireball ability does, and maybe you should do the healing first. This is my strategy. This is how I'm building up my character. It's really cool to see all that, and we're really excited to see that, and I think that just really adds a new reason to keep on playing Atmosphir. It's not just to be on the leaderboards. It's not just to get wins and XP and levels. It's to actually get new abilities and new things that can change the game for you. And I think that's a big driving factor, at least for me personally. That's a big reason why I was playing this weekend, was because I wanted new abilities. Now, yeah, because I'm a developer, I can go in the back end and give myself 100 Stratos if I wanted to, but, I want to play fair, so that's what I'll be doing. Let's see. So another thing, moving on to, there was a lot of debate about the club membership, and club members now get 5 times the experience that a free member gets. And again, this is an issue of fairness. I think we felt that this was really fair. We looked at a lot of other games in the online space and what they're doing, and this is something that a lot of different games are doing. Did a lot of research here, and it essentially comes down to time is money. It's a fair way to say, hey, if everyone has the same opportunity to get these things, it's just going to take free players a little bit longer to do, and that's something that we feel is fair. You can pay to speed up your leveling process, but you can still reach it as a free player. It's not something that only club members can have. It's something that everyone can sort of reach that if you put the time into it. There were expected complaints of 5 times, is too much. It should be 2 or 3 or something like that. But we thought a lot about this, and again, this is based on a lot of research we did with other games, and 5 is something, the 5-time ratio is something that we saw in quite a few examples. But also, this is something I said in the forums, and I'll reiterate it here. If you're playing Atmosphir for free, you're actually costing us money. We love to have you. We still love free players, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's totally fine. But the way we look at it is we didn't want to put an upfront cost on Atmosphir. We didn't want to say, hey, you have to pay $20 or $40 or $60 or whatever to play Atmosphir, to play the game. It's something that we feel is, hey, we want to let everyone have a shot at trying to design their own levels, trying to play their own levels, and play other people's levels. And that's more of what they call the freemium model. You can check it out. You can do 99% of the things that you want to do in the game for free. But for everything that's paid, we feel like it's something that we've thought really, really hard about and feel is very fair to all parties involved. It's something that is adding significant, something significant to the game. So it's not just, when you're buying something, it's character customization, it's a new weapon, it's abilities and perks and things like that. It's the faster XP. It's something that we feel is fair to the whole experience, and is something that a lot of you find a lot of value in and would actually pay money for. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a business, and to keep on going and to keep making all this cool stuff, we need our paying customers. And quite honestly, the people that are doing that the most are club members. They're the ones that are paying us, saying for a year, we'll give you this much money, or for a month by month basis, we'll give you this much money. And we're hoping that, with the gifts and the XP boosts and the club icon and club exclusive items and weapons and, other things in the future, the Red Knight suit, all that stuff, is that hopefully you're getting that money's, worth. You're getting your money's worth, and that it's worth that to you. So, so I think the 5 times ratio is, that's going to stay. I don't think that's, going to change anytime soon. In fact, to tell you the truth, certain people wanted it to be 10 times as much. We talked them down to 5. So, it's something, based on research, that's what we went through. So, but yeah, anyway, I think it's great. And I think, if you are a big Atmosphir fan and you feel that the game has value to you, then I'd say, being a club member is the best way to support us. Honestly, it's the way that we can continue to make the Atmosphir the best game possible. And we hope that a year club membership is $40. We hope that you're getting $40 worth of fun with Atmosphir. And if you're not, then just buy Atmos and whatever you think it's worth. If you think it's a $5 game, then buy $5 worth of Atmos. But know that goes, that's not going to buy limousines for all of us, or that's not going to buy fancy pads or whatever. It's all about making the game better. It's a very small company still, and we're trying our best to make the best game we can based on the limited resources that we have as well. All right, so let's move on to talking about the desktop version. It's very close to being done. We're hoping for for it to come out this month sometime. No firm date has been set yet. A lot of you have been asking, hey, why is this taking so long? I mean, it shouldn't just be with Unity. Shouldn't it just be, you click one button and that's it. It's transferred from the web to a desktop version. Well, it's actually a slightly different build from the web. There's a lot of different things that we have to do and optimize and reconfigure specifically for the desktop version. So it takes a little bit of time, and we've been doing a lot of QA testing with that in different systems as well. Mac, Windows, the installers. There's a lot of different things that can go wrong and have been going wrong in the past. Performance is certainly the biggest part of why the desktop version is going to be so good. I was playing it a lot this weekend. On full screen and had the shadows on and everything, and really big complex levels were running really smoothly, and it's just so nice to have that experience. And even designing levels, I was fooling around with that as well. It's just it's at least 2 to 3 times faster, if not more, for me. And I'm using a MacBook Pro, which is already a pretty good well-equipped machine. So it's cool to see that happening, and to be able to play the game in sort of as smoothly as you would like a console game, which is always what we've really wanted Atmosphir to feel like, more of a console game and less like a crappy web game like people are used to with Facebook or other type things like that. It's for me, it's kind of hard to go back to the web version, to be honest. It's the web version is totally fine for quick check-ins and plays and everything like that. But I think if you're playing really big levels or you're having a longer playing session, I think you can't go wrong. The desktop has to be the way that you play the game. But I still think, we did it the right way. I think web is the most approachable way of, for this game. It's not downloading the program and installing it and going through all those steps. I think it's still the most approachable to the biggest audience. And in the future, as technology improves and web browsers, are faster and Unity gets better, I'd say, in 2 to 3 years, I would expect the web version to be as good as the current, desktop version as technology improves at the, super fast rate that it usually does. But yeah, so looking forward to that. Again, hopefully it'll be this month sometime. So we're very, very excited about that. Okay, and we're going to finish off today then with Q&A. Again, I asked you guys on Facebook and Twitter to say, give us some questions and some you might have about the upcoming versions of Atmosphir or, different things that are related to the game right now. And there were quite a few questions. I narrowed it down to about 10 or so, or maybe less. So here we go. We'll start with Nasus 1992, who said, will we see the former main menu and play browser music in design mode? They can add it to the level diversity. It would add to the level diversity and new ideas. So basically, Nasus is saying, basically we took off in the latest update. There's no more main menu. There's no more main menu music, and the play browser music is actually an option in the options menu. You can choose to turn that on or off. But he's basically saying, hey, I liked this music. It's not there anymore. Now because it's not there, can we add it as design mode or, background music, instead? And I'd say, yeah, actually that's already in process. That's a ticket that we've already, started production on. And, it should be in an upcoming update. So, look forward to that. I'll answer the obligatory follow-up question that everyone asked. When is the old music coming back? We'll see about that. No set plans right now. But I think that would be really cool to add back in. I see music actually as a big part of 2011 as sound and music as something I'd like to improve a lot with Atmosphir. Think of it if music was completely open in Atmosphir. If you could upload any music file you wanted in Atmosphir and put it up, of course there'd be copyright issues and all that stuff and file sizes and, levels taking long to load. And there's a lot of issues we'd have to work out. But just imagine if you could do that. Wouldn't that be, to me, as a designer, that'd be awesome. I mean, being able to create your own dialogue tracks, for example, have a narrator, sort of saying things over top of the level. That would be amazing. And being able to have your own music and own sound effects and, little vocal cues and things like that would just be amazing. So that alone, there's a lot of issues, as I said, to work out with that. But if that was a possibility, that would be, that would take things to another level. And I think that's sort of the direction we want to go with a lot of things with Atmosphir in the future, is just make things more and more open. WeFan Jr. says, with the NPCs, is it going, non-playable characters, is it going to be possible to play Atmo Ball against them, or will they not be smart enough? I think NPCs will be as smart as other enemies. You've seen, you can play Atmo Ball against crabs and things like that. And they're smart enough to know that the ball is something that they want to hit and knock away. But that's pretty much it. And I think NPCs will be sort of the same. Particularly with Atmosphir, it's really difficult to program AI for the infinite possibilities that people can design for. So, an Atmo Ball field isn't just a plain soccer field. It could be upside down. It could be gravity shifting. It could be, on a sphere. It could be anything. And to program for that is kind of difficult. So we try our best, and, I think it'll improve over time. But, I think a multiplayer match is always going to be better than anything we could do with just plain AI. But, we'll see how it goes. Baberto says, have you picked the weapon contest winner yet? Well, this is good. We've finished this recently. We asked you guys to create a concept for a new cursed Atmosphir weapon, and you guys had a lot of really awesome ideas. It actually got more entries and responses than the texture contest did about a month ago, so it's very cool to see all those coming in. But yes, we are working on that right now. We'll be talking with the art team what their favorite is, and there are a lot of really cool entries. Honestly, if any of these got into the game, I would be happy. I think they're all really cool and very creative. But hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, we'll announce a winner on the website. So keep your eyes open for that. Jar Jar Jared says, what are the differences between the online version and the desktop version besides running faster? Well, the biggest one is offline design mode, I'd say. That's the ability you don't have to be connected to the internet to design levels. And you can actually save offline drafts, which is a really cool feature. It's something that goes back to the old school Atmosphir where you were able to, send your friends your Atmo files and things like that. It's pretty cool. And I think that'll be a really good option. We've seen, all sorts of use cases for this. People who want to, play on a plane or, design a level where there isn't internet access, or, schools who might have different network issues that they can't always connect based on firewalls and stuff like that to the game, but they want to still be able to teach design mode in their classes. So, that's something we felt is one of the main reasons why we wanted to do a desktop version other than performance. I would say that was the number 2 reason. So, it's going to be a big plus. I use offline design mode a lot when I've been testing recently, and some of the new play challenge levels I've made have all been done in desktop version and offline design mode. So, Alexander Joseph Fleischer says, where are the futuristic blocks? The circuit board is a good start, but I want more. Yeah, that was a really good version that one of the users made that we recently added into the game, the texture contest winners. And one of those was this really cool circuit block, which I think is really cool. And if you flip it around, it's actually cool how all the different circuits touch each other and connect with each other. I really like that one as well. But yeah, I think, we're working on that. We're working on future stuff and more industrial type stuff and enemies and blocks and props and things like that. No set date on those, but that's definitely, we see a missing piece of Atmosphir, and we want more, of that sort of block, futuristic, type things, and that would complement the circuit board, which people have already, again, made some really cool levels already with that. I was playing one the other day that, it's like you're trapped inside a computer, and that was a pretty cool level. Brett Jenkins says, where do you see Atmosphir in a year's time? That's a good question. I mean, I'd say, I think harkening back to the first question about music, I see Atmosphir, for myself personally, want it to be a more open system. We're essentially giving you all these Lego blocks right now, and it's kind of a closed environment. I'd like to open things up a little bit more with user textures and sound files and, coding and scripting and things like that. I think that's the direction we have to go, to make things even more diverse and more fresh and exciting. The more that we can do that, the more the players will, have more interesting levels to play, and the more possibilities the designers will have to sort of unlock really cool gameplay possibilities and break out of the platformer action adventure mold, make all sorts of different kinds of levels. And I think that's really the direction that we want to go in the future. So in a year's time, maybe we'll see, being able to upload your own textures for your levels and own sound files, and being able to, script in all sorts of different things. I think that'd be really cool. Kyle Wardwell says, will club members gain the 4 out of 5 XP? Oh, basically the 4/5 of XP from levels they beat before update 15, or will Minor Studios at least reset the levels beaten by each user so they can go back and play and gain the XP they're missing? So basically what Kyle is asking here is saying, I already beat all these old levels and for XP, and now that I'm a club member, I can't go back and rebeat those levels for 5 times XP. Yes, unfortunately, this isn't something we're going to be changing. It's a little bit too technically complex to go back and say, okay, allow users to do this and get the 4/5 of the XP that they don't want. Sort of a little bit complicated and a lot of work, that wouldn't necessarily have as big of payoff to a lot of different members. I look at it this way: as XP was, the first part of XP was our first beta testing phase, and we learned a lot from that process and saw how people were behaving and that sort of thing. And now we've moved on to phase 2, and this is where we are right now. Eventually, as we add more XP levels and more levels of the day, of course, there will be a lot more. Anyone will be able to play a lot of different levels to reach that maximum level cap right now of level 50. Which no one is even close to reaching right now. But, in the future, that's the way that things will go. But yeah, I mean, if you really wanted to get be the first to reach level 50, then you're going to have to start with a fresh new character, essentially, to be able to play every level and get that 5 times bonus, from a new club membership. But, yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. I'm sorry. I wish we could go back and do all that stuff, but there's a lot bigger priorities, to be honest, right now. And our final question comes from Colin McCluskey, who says, "When is co-op design mode coming out?" And I have a ton of Atmos right now. Should I blow them all at once, or is something new coming to these stores soon? So co-op design is, of course, something we really, really, really want to add into the game. and we recently hired a new person to specifically focus on the multiplayer component of Atmosphir. I know we always say that, oh, we're working on multiplayer, it's going to be better, it's going to be better. This time, I'm telling the truth, it's really going to be better. We're actually looking at things, trying to, start with sort of a fresh outlook on this, and with a new hire, and saying, hey, what can we do to make multiplayer the best experience possible? Right now, it's really plagued with a lot of technical issues and lag and things like that. And we're going to really try to improve that, for as many people as possible. And so take a closer look at that. So, as we're doing that, co-op design mode is going to be part of that process. I'm looking into making that part of it and as good as possible. To the second part, for Atmos, should you buy them all? Should you wait out? There's always going to be cool stuff on the way, but I'd say there's tons of really good stuff right now. And to me, the best values are really the costumes. I think any of the premium sets, the Ninja or the Knights, or the Farmer, the Raider, or anything like that, the Ranger, all those are really good values. I personally think start out with the Ranger set. I think that's the best one to start out with, because it gives you a lot of different I think there's all sorts of different colors. I think in terms of the amount of stuff you get inside a package, I think the Raider set gives you the most. I may be mistaken about that, but a lot of those older packages have a lot of different colors and variations with them. So I'd say go for something like that, one of the premium costumes first, and then if you have anything left over, I tend to like the things you can put on your head, like the masks and the big goofy things like the cats and the helmets and things like that. But that's just me. Maybe you like something else. But in particular, I think the costumes give you a lot of diversity in what you can have. I'm going to put these gloves on, but use this weapon and, this shirt and this hairstyle and all these different things. Costumes give you several different options to use. So they're sort of the best value, for what you're getting. And particularly when NPCs come out, you'll be able to make some really diverse enemies. It won't just be a bunch of enemies with the default Atmosphir shirts on, right? You'll be able to make Raiders and Knights and things like that, to battle, characters if you're a designer. So I think that's really cool as well. Anyway, that's it for today's podcast. Thanks guys so much for listening. Stay tuned to atmosphir.com and, Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff, to, have the latest updates for what's going on with the game. Hopefully this was informative and you guys had a good time listening to it, and hopefully answered your questions and illuminated quite a few new things and wasn't too boring. But that's it. So thanks guys so much for listening, and thanks for playing Atmosphir, and talk to you soon. Bye.